Greetings from the Eccentric Man, and today we're going to be looking at a Charlie Foxtrot building. I've seen these on the internet, and certainly I've seen some good comments on Twitterverse and on the Facebooks. I thought I would get myself one. My friend went off to Warfare on Saturday and picked me up one from the stand. This is a Pantile building. We're going to be doing a bit of work, a bit of gaming in the sort of 1942-43 Sicily, southern Italy sort of theatre. He's got his Fallschirmjägers and I've got my British paratroops. So we'll be going to put them against each other. I think something like Plimsoll Bridge, is it? My friend's bought one of those and he's going to put that together. So these are the Pantile buildings. Also, I'm awaiting my Kickstarter from theForager, which is a little skirmish Napoleonic game set in the Peninsula, and I think these buildings will do it very nicely. I'll put a picture of a completed one up because I'm probably not going to get around to painting this one just at the moment. So this is the Charlie Foxtrot model, and it's their smallest house in the Pantile range. So we'll just zoom out a little bit. So this is what we've sort of got at the moment. We've got an instruction set, and we've got some of the walls. It's the outside walls are 3mm, and there's inside walls which are 2mm. But there's also some other little bits and pieces which have been made, which you can stick on to give it some more detail, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. One key thing which is really different about Charlie Foxtrot models is the roof. It's not MDF laser cut or whatever. It is in fact resin, and I'll just move that one out of the way and I'll bring this one in, and that's the resin roof. Excuse my throat. And it is tremendous. I'll turn it over and you can see it is in fact solid resin. The top of it is really nice. And that's what makes these Pantile buildings different. It's the roof, and it is really quite smart. I'll just go and get my scales and I'll give you a quick weigh-in. I've calibrated the scales to 0 and put the roof on, and it weighs in at 8.8 ounces, or in new money, 250 grams. So that is a sizable piece of resin for their smallest house. And they do a church, a big house, and some other big buildings. It is recommended that you pick up the models from shows because postage is quite expensive. I have seen on the Twitterverse they had some walls and a nice gate with a sort of archway over the top. There were some straights and some corners, and I've got some of those on their way, and I'll do a review on those when those arrive. But yeah, that's a solid piece of resin, that there. So let's have a look at the rest of the kit. So we've got an instruction sheet. Always dry run parts before gluing them, which is always a good idea. So it's given us the sort of process to go. Start on the floor and put the MDF on a flat surface. Yep, that's all okay. So we've got a little bit there. Yep, recommended that doors, windows, railings, shutters and painted separately and glue into place once the main building is textured and painted. To attain the rustic finished, you can check out their tutorial on the website in their blog, which I've had a quick look at, which is excellent because it takes you through how they do it, and they look really good online. So yep, instructions, not overly detailed on A to Z, but I think we'll probably be able to do it, so we'll have a look. So I've laid out all the bits. So we've got some wall sections, some nice doors with a nice frame around the edge, windows with some nice sort of feature lintel type things and work. The 4 squares there are for the roof. There's a lintel to go over the back door. Some more shutter stuff. Just sucking a boiled sweet because my throat has gone very dry. So that's the parts, but what is interesting is this little bag here. And this is printed plastic, I think, or resin brickwork. That using their tutorial, you can put into the outer layer of the building. So the building you're sort of going to be putting on polyfiller type stuff, and what you can do is you can stick this onto your walls and you can smooth in the polyfiller so that it just looks like it's a bit that's sticking out from the covering over the top. So I think that'll be quite nice and give it a little bit extra detail. So yeah, it's you've got the blog for painting it and using the filler on it to get the textured surface. All I've got to do now is I'll get myself a picture of what I'm aiming to build, and then I can start putting it together and we'll see how we go. But quite a lot of bits and pieces in this building. Wow, what a mistake to make. I had a quick look at the picture of the house online, and apparently they're sold out at the moment, so I was fortunate to get this one at the show. Yes, the little resin bits actually clip into pre-made holes on the walls. They just push in from the other side. You can glue them in, and it gives you the brickwork which has been exposed. So once you put the weathering over the top and you've got that, it gives you that 3D effect of it going in. So excellent. So yeah, as you can see here, this one just fits into the gap. And voila, another one done. And I've got another little piece here to fit into this bit of brickwork here. That does look big for that bit, but we'll see how that goes. And that's because I was looking at the wrong bit. That bit fits into that wall, but there's not a bit to fit into that wall. So I think I might be missing a little white piece of resin. So just doing a bit of a dry fit. So that's the upper story. This is the lower story. I've got inner walls. I've got an inner wall to do the long rooms upstairs and the long rooms downstairs, and one end wall. So I don't know whether it should come with 3 other end walls, because there's obviously not going to be an end wall for 3 parts of the buildings if that's the case. I might have to ask online to see if I'm missing any of those walls. So we'll have to see what we've got. So I've dry fitted the inner walls, and as you can see I've got the 3 walls there, but nothing on this right hand side, and I've got the 2 walls on the outside there, but nothing on the inner walls, the 2 end walls. So I'm just not sure. So back to making the Charlie Foxtrot Pantile House 3. I've been in contact with Charlie Foxtrot, and there should only be 1 inner short wall. They've done it that way to prevent excess postage costs. Putting in another 3 walls would have added up the postage on it. So specifically there, that's what it's designed for, and just to save weight and to save money. So that's good. So we've put the first ground floor together, the outside walls, and now going to move on to putting on the bits of brickwork that you can see here. I've given them a scrub and a wash with soap and water because it's resin, and sometimes you get the release mould on them, which causes a bit of a problem. So they've been washed, ready to be fitted. So it's just going to be normal super glue to stick these into the building. Okay, so I've put the 2 inner walls together. It's made it a little bit more firm and secure, and you can see that they enclose the bits of brickwork on the outside, so you can't see them on the inside. So we've done the first ground floor bit, and I've also done the upper story, and at the moment it's just drying and being held by the elastic bands to keep it straight. So yep, you can see the glue drying inside. So going together okay. So next step will be the inner walls for the upper floor. The only key thing is that you've just got to make sure that the inner walls, the actual doors and the windows match up, so they don't get half blocked. So yeah, you just got to make sure that the inner wall goes on the right side. So we're going to move on to putting the inner walls in on the top floor. So you put the inner walls in on the top. It's quite useful to have on your phone the picture up, so that it gives you an idea of what walls you're working to. So now I'm looking at putting the little bits of decorative bits on the windows, so the lintels around the front and the lintels around the door and the top, and fitting that door in at the top there. Looks like you get a veranda type thing and some shutters. So I've got my bits pile, so I can have a look at how that's going to work. You can either have the shutters open or half open or closed. So we'll see how that looks. So let's start to put the windows together. So the next step up is putting on some little bits of wood underneath the upper floor. Those are going to be the fitting lugs, so once you put the roof on, it fits securely on top of the first floor. So the first floor fits securely on top of the ground floor. The roof is still yet to go on. But we've started to put the decorative parts on. So I've got the lintel over the door, I've got the window on that side, and if we turn it around, we've got our window and we've got our door there. There are doors to fit these, so we're progressing on. See you soon. So I've just dry fitted the doors and the veranda railings in place, dry fitted, and the roof, and I've just sort of put the walls up. That's all dry fitted with the tiles on the tops. So yeah, this is the Pantile House 3 and the walls and the gate section, and I've popped some figures in there just to give an idea of size. So next up is to just tidy it all up, finish washing all the resin tile pieces on the walls and the roof. Got a little bit of work on the roof just to sand it down to get it to fit snugly into the walls at the top. And then got to put polyfiller type stuff all around on the walls, a bit of sand on some of the walls, and then start to paint up. We're looking for a sort of a southern Italy, Sicily wall scheme colouring, and going to be terracotta tiles on the top and the walls. So yeah, hoping that it'll come out looking nice. So it's the first part of the terrain for my southern Italy type thing. I've got Forager on Kickstarter coming, so it's 6 figures skirmish, and this might do very nicely for it. It should fit on my arid cigar box mat very nicely. But there we are. I'll do pictures and post an update once I've finished it, but that's going to be a little bit in the future. So thanks very much for watching. I'll add in a couple of bits, my thoughts on the process and Charlie Foxtrot models and their customer service and their instructions. So hold fire for that. So overall, I would say a very positive result for Charlie Foxtrot and their buildings. The walls and gate and corner pieces came through very quickly from when I ordered them. The instructions that you get with them could be a little bit better. I would like to have had a contents checklist so that I could go through and tick things off, because as I say, I thought I was missing 3 of the inner short walls, but apparently I wasn't. So I did halt the build while I contacted them. Contacted them is pretty good off of Facebook. If you go on to them and message them, you get a response very quickly, which was good, and they cleared up all the problems for me. Check the piece of paper at the top of the plastic bags that you get the buildings in.
on the inside may be a little bit of a help to building and putting some of the bits together. Certainly should have been on the piece that came with the corner walls that I made. However, I threw away that bit of paper straight from the outset. But fortunately, Charlie Foxtrot were able to send me a picture of what I needed, and I was able to put them together. I'm not particularly good at jigsaws, and I do need a bit of help. Also need a bit of help with the instructions. But the building went together okay. Looking at the pictures online, because you can get them from their website. There's also a good blog about actually putting the rendering on. I wish I'd read it before I did mine. But they were good. They answered and responded on the Facebook and put it all together. So yeah, really good. Looking forward to painting it up and getting it on the table. Just got to save up now to get some of the rest. I noticed on the website that they were out of stock, so hopefully that'll come back soon and they'll be able to be ordered. But thank you very much for watching. Please share with your friends if you think they might like it. Give it a thumbs up if you do like it yourself. Subscribe if you haven't. That would be really great. So look forward to speaking to you and seeing you again. Thanks very much. Bye. You can also find me on Twitter at _eccentricman, and you can also find me on the Facebooks at the Eccentric Man Battle Reports. Love to have you along. Join up and join in the chat. So thanks very much.